Hey guys, Doward here. As you remember here, I installed a MP3 compatible 6-disc CD changer into my 2005 F250. Well, my wife, you may recall from some of my other videos, is blind, and she's been doing this whole thing on Audible where she's been buying up these Audible books. You've probably seen the ads all over YouTube lately. Well, they've worked out really, really well for her because she can't read and she loves books. But we're finding that we want to be able to use those Audible books, while we're traveling down a road, if we're taking a road trip or something like that. And that's a little hard to do on the stock stereo system. Now there is like a $90 adapter you can get with a a 3.5 millimeter stereo input type deal, but I'm not a huge fan of those. Like, hey, I've got Bluetooth, why don't I get a Bluetooth stereo? So that's what we're going to be doing today, is installing a JVC KW v20BT head unit that I got off of Craigslist. We're going to be replacing it. I went by Best Buy earlier today. I got all the necessary Metra installation parts. I'll be using the Metra 70-5600 for the speakers. I'm going to upgrade those at the same time. We'll be using the Metra 99-5815 installation kit and the Metra 70-5521 installation. I really only need the 5520 because I don't have that audiophile system in my truck with a factory amp and all, but the 21's I had in stock, so yeah. So let's go and get the stereo and I'll show you guys what we got going. Alright, so here we are on the work bed. We've got the adapter for the antenna. This is the 40 CR10. It says it's for a Chrysler, so I'm kind of confused as to how that's going to work. We've got here's the Metra 99-5815 I was telling you about. And I want to show you how this all installs onto here. Now to start with, I'm going to be using obviously a double DIN because the JVC stereo is a double DIN. And the interesting thing here is how these side plates go on. It took me a second to figure this out. What you got to do, see that big gap? You come in, straight through, and then just lift them up and over. Make sure they're in, and then your notch needs to be facing up. So all that's left now is just to bolt this all together. So let's go ahead, and I'm gonna have to go pick up some bolts for this because obviously buying the second hand, I don't have any bolts for it, and I don't know if the stock ones will work. Alright, so I ran over to Ace Hardware. These bolts are 5mm by 0.8 thread pitch, and I picked up some fender washers and lock nuts because according to this it says the length of the thread cannot extend 6mm into here, and the best they had were 10mm long, so I needed to be able to take up some of that extra bit of space. So as we start assembling this guy, I'm just going to loosely set my bolts in and get them started. I'm not going to tighten anything down because I'm going to want this all nice and flush mount. But looks like I can get a third screw in back here, and I like the idea of triangulating this instead of only having these two bolts holding it. Of course, I'll need to test fit everything in the truck before I actually go through tightening everything down. So, alright, so you can see it's not a perfect flush mount, but I have a curved surface here. See, it's not perfect, but it's close enough for me. The next thing I need to do is go ahead and get the wiring harness situated.